Who is he? He is me. Hi, I'm Rafi Redzwan. This is he. Here is my chance to share some amazing stories with some amazing people that are inspiring to me. He celebrates everyday people of everyday life. He revolves around conversations that inspire others to change the world and make a difference in life, with a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of drama. Join me for personal stories and experiences on health and healing, successes and failures, recovery and discovery, anything relatable, and anything in between. He elevates us to rise again and live our very best life. Just so you know, you are not alone. He is with you.
No, because I nak
Okay,
keluar daripada bilik
lepas
and
tu
ambil my
boleh. Ryan pun dah ni
continue
dah
continue.
duk dengar conversation kita. Lepas
No,
tu
because I
apa
nanti ada background noise.
Nurin Qistina cultivates sincerity as the ultimate meaning of family devotion. In this episode, she opens up to He about how her past has shaped her to become the person that she is today. As a doting and devoted stay-at-home parent, she strives to be the best she can and provide for her family with love and sincerity. The embodiment behind this devoted image of Nurin Qistina lies another story. She is known for her bento food creation and handmade children's toy. She shares the joy it brings and expects nothing back, is a true value in devotion and a source of strength as well as deep love. This is her story. Today, we will talk about your journey in defining the meaning of devotion towards yourself and your family that help shape who you are today, becoming the person that you are today as you pave your ways in doing what you love the most and keeping your family together. And also, we will discover how you overcome the challenges in the mental and physical aspect, also your well being, and hopefully to allow the audience to understand and discover the story behind this episode. Now, what is the meaning of family devotion according to you?
I know the first thing that stems to my mind is not having me time, and I feel like that is very unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I know that that is also, I'm guessing, going to be the meaning for a lot of especially stay-at-home parents or parents that work from home or run their own business. But I feel like the ultimate meaning of family devotion is it comes from a place of sincerity. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you decide to be a stay-at-home parent like me, it was a very sure decision for me. You know, and it was almost like I was meant to do it.
Mm-mm.
And every single day, no matter how tiring it is, and no matter how long the days feel, I am
Mm-mm.
so sincere. Like I don't expect anything back, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And I want to do it with an open heart and an open mind, and also at the same time knowing that I will make mistakes, which is something that I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to digest the fact that I will make mistakes because we hate making mistakes with our kids, right? Because
Mm-mm.
literally we don't know if the mistakes can screw them up,
Yes.
or traumatize them for life, right?
Mm-mm.
But I'm trying to learn every single day that I will make mistakes. And when I do make mistakes, I need to kind of step back a bit and reflect and figure out what I need to do from there. But
Mm.
because I do it with that open heart and open mind, I think it somehow makes my devotion to my family easier. I don't
Yes.
feel like it's a burden. I don't feel like,
Mm-mm.
oh my God, another day with my kids. Oh my God, I need to get up and I need to cook. Like, I don't think there's ever been a day yet that I felt like that.
Mm-mm.
I've been a parent now for about, 4 years since my
Four
daughter was
years.
born. Yes.
So since it started, you never felt like it was a burden. Like most people, for
No,
me,
I
to
loved
begin
it.
with, I feel like I mean I enjoy having my son when he was born, but at the same time I felt like, oh my God, is this my life sucks, you know?
But I
Because
think it also comes from a place of who you were before. So if
Yeah.
you are, if you had a career, if you had a life that was almost free
Mm-mm.
prior to that,
Yeah.
sometimes parenthood can feel very, very isolating and very, very, um,
Lonely.
very controlling a bit as well,
Yeah.
because your life revolves around your kids' schedule, right? When they nap, when they eat, when they sleep, when they're hungry, it's
Mm-mm.
like, and their mood and their, oh my God, the tantrums and everything.
Mm.
But then for me, I think it was because um I was fresh out of college, I just finished school. So um I haven't started work or anything. I didn't exactly have like an adult life yet. My adult life was stepping into marriage and parenthood. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's the difference, like um I've never adult until I became a mom.
I
And
see.
then
So, okay,
and then
okay.
my then the freedom of my adulthood somehow
Uh-huh.
was at the same time kind of being controlled by my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yes.
it's it's different experiences, but my devotion to my family became easier when I'm sincere, when
Mm-hmm.
I don't hold, like, and as Muslims we believe when you're ikhlas, it makes a
Yes.
lot of things easy. I
Yes.
I try to be like the toughest times, that's when I need
Mm-mm.
to be the most ikhlas. Like,
Mm-mm.
if for example when my kids are sick, if I want to stay up, i I'm going to stay up, but I'm not going to hold it against my husband tomorrow saying like, oh, you didn't stay up with me, but I'm the one that stayed up, because I'm the
Mm-mm.
one who wants to do it. So I need
Yes.
to be sincere, and I need to do it just by myself. I cannot
Yes.
hold it against my husband. I
Yes.
cannot hold it against my kids, because that's just building resentment. And then, like I said, you will start to bakira. You'll start going to your kids and saying, see, I was the one who took care of you. See, I'm the one who did this. I'm the one who did that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just unhealthy. It's also putting a lot of pressure on your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Your
And a lot of
kids.
people struggle with that. A lot of people, like especially myself. But you brought up a very good point there because of probably two different sets of background. One probably had that freedom of financial freedom, had a career, while you started your adulthood, starting a family. Hence, I didn't realize that as well when I started becoming a parent. I had that freedom. So if I were to be starting the way that you did, probably it would give me the different sentiment than that. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think our journey to get where we are today, it ultimately defines how you think. But the thing is, I was also raised, I came from a broken family, because um my father figures in my life were
Mm-hmm.
not great. So
I'll
this is
have.
something that I've been quite open about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, on my Instagram I've also shared it, and my mom as well has been quite open about this.
Mm-hmm.
But my biological dad is a he's an addict. So it was pretty much downhill ever since my mom had been married to him. And
Right.
then my stepdad is abusive. He's abusive towards my mom. Not towards us, but he's abusive towards my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, all those experience as well really paved my way into becoming a parent. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, growing up with a lot of childhood trauma and needing to really understand things and grow up really fast was a
Right.
big part of my life. So, at like 15, I was not a 15-year-old girl inside. I was
Mm-hmm.
pretty much a 20-year-old, like, because I had to grow up
Mm-hmm.
for my family, because I have five younger siblings. So I had to grow up for my siblings. I had to be strong. I had to be the rock for my mom as well, because it was hard and it's very isolating when you
Mm-hmm.
have family issues and you can't tell your friends.
Yes.
Your mom can't exactly, and last time it was very taboo.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom couldn't talk to her friends. So it's a very isolating. So your mom only has you only have your mom, you only have your siblings, and my siblings are young and they're
Mm-mm.
small. Um and I remember how scared they used to look.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to grow up. And so maybe that also in a way paved my way to become the parent that I
Mhm.
am today.
Mhm.
So that's why, maybe I don't mind the I don't mind not having that freedom that people are thinking about, because I'm
Mm-mm.
thinking, okay, this is the way for me to give my kids a different childhood. This
Yes.
is my way of, maybe in some weird ways, to kind of fix my own childhood. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows, all this, we don't know
Yeah.
what goes in our brain, right? And we don't know
Yes.
how it's wired. But maybe this is my way of making sure that, all right, I gotta raise my kids in a different way, to be, happier, and then making sure mentally as well they're healthier, and then making sure they raise their family right, and making sure that, none of my boys get into the circle that, get into the very toxic um circle that my dad was in,
Mm-hmm.
and hoping to raise my son better in that sense.
So you spoke about having two father figures. One is your biological father, and also your stepfather being an addict and an abusive. And what was your journey like? Because I believe at the time, I mean, even still is today, those are the things that not just taboo, but also the stigma that goes around it. And it can be quite something that a lot of people don't talk about, don't share because of the shame and the guilt. And how what was your journey like in finding yourself, and in becoming who you are today?
um I think it was really hard to talk about. Like, for the longest time, I almost felt ashamed to
Mm-hmm.
even be able to say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember never telling my friends that, like, I had a dad, my real dad, and then I had a stepdad. Because I remember going to primary school and never really talking about it. And I think in a way, my mom was also always I think she always felt guilty of it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
she married my stepdad just before I went into primary school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never questioned it, obviously. But then I remember crying at the wedding, saying, I don't want a new dad and stuff like that. And if you see pictures of my stepdad at my mom's wedding, all of it was just my face is crying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then as an adult, when my mom and I had this conversation, she said, do you know why I got married? She was like, because you were going to go to big primary school and I didn't want you to feel different. She didn't
Yes.
want me to
Yes.
realize that I didn't have a dad, because I would see my friends with two sets of parents.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was her form of family devotion, right? She could have
Right.
just been single. And she
Yes.
could have just, and she's much happier now. She's single now, she's
Mm-hmm.
divorced.
Mm-hmm.
She's much happier, and she could have been happier as well before. But that is her form of family devotion, making
Yes.
sure her daughter didn't feel different at 6 years old,
Mm-hmm.
at seven
Mm-hmm.
years old. Um, and I don't have a relationship with my biological dad, so
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's a tough decision to make. I tried.
Yes.
I tried my level best.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to be civil. When I gave birth to my daughter, I was like, okay, it's his grandchild, so he should come and see her, right?
Mm-mm.
2 weeks after he met her, all he cared about was money, needing money from me,
Mm-hmm.
and telling me that, oh, my husband can afford to give him money. And basically, that was the extent of the relationship that he wanted to have with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was when I said, that's enough.
That's
No
it for
more.
you. Okay.
Yes. And making that decision was hard, because all my life, all I kept thinking was, what did I do wrong that my dad didn't want to be my dad? Because he has three other kids with his new wife.
Oh.
And he's a dad to them. He's a stay-at-home dad to them.
Yes.
So me growing up thinking, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I was not a good child, you know?
Yes.
And then my stepdad, on the other hand, he was a good dad, but he was not a good husband. So it was very difficult and very complicated to be in a home where you would see your mom getting hurt, but then your stepdad was good to you. So how
Mm-mm.
you, as a child, how do you make sense of that?
Yeah.
And it was so confusing. And I remember, I think my mom was in the marriage for about 11 years, but roughly around the age of 11 or 12, I started remembering and I started seeing it. So it started becoming a very deep part of me. Um, so it made me someone
Mm-hmm.
who's very sure of herself, very
Yes, yes.
sure that I would never ever let something like that ever happen to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I would never want my kids to see it and to
Mm.
have to grow
Yeah.
up faster than they would need to.
Yes.
And of course, none of this was ever my mom's fault. She
But
would have never
yeah.
known. She just wanted
Yes.
to provide for her family. She wanted to, she wanted to create a home, a family, a good life for her kids. Of course, she
Mm.
did.
Yeah.
Um, but it was just, it was not easy because you, honestly, I think men just needed to be raised better. So
Yeah.
that's where I kick. I think that's me as a parent now.
Yes.
Like, if you see me with my daughter, some people might think, oh, I'm tough because I always try to toughen my daughter up. Like, I
Yes.
manja her, but I always tell her, like, you need to be able to stand up for yourself because no one's going to do that for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just when you think that, sometimes like the world is hard or whatever, it can get harder. And this is
Indeed.
obviously learning from experience because for my mom, that was the actual case.
Yes.
Um, and then where else with my son, I told my husband, I'm like, by hook or by crook, I will raise my son to be the best man that he can be. Like, he is
Yes.
not allowed to do all those things that was horrible things to women or to anybody. And
Yeah.
I will make sure that he will raise good sons because that's
Yeah.
how you raise good generations of boys, right?
Indeed.
You need to
Yes.
start
Yes.
somewhere, right?
Yes.
And
I agree to that. And I mean, I grew up with a very doting, and loving father and husband, my dad.
but that's
So
why you have it in you to have a
yeah.
stay-at-home dad,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have a good role model. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be honest,
Mm-mm.
when I wanted to get married, when I think about getting married
Mm.
prior to actually getting married, I always used to say to my mom,
Of course.
I'm gonna find a husband
Mm-mm.
who's gonna be a good dad. I
Mm-mm.
always told my
Yeah.
mom that. But then now that I'm actually married, I didn't realize that
Mm-mm.
for someone to be a good dad and for your kids to see a good man, you need a man who's going to be good to you, because your
Yes.
kids watch that every single day, and your
Mm.
daughter is essentially
Yeah.
building up ways to see how she is going to be treated. She's going to be like, if you mistreat your wife, your daughter's watching you and thinking, okay,
Mm.
that's how men treat women. So when a man mistreats her, she's going to think that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
your son's going to grow up to mistreat his woman, and then he's going to be thinking that it's okay because you mistreat your wife.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm very lucky because I didn't just score like a good
Yeah.
dad, but my husband's a very good man. Like, he's very
Yeah.
good to me. Like, I have it good. I have it as good as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else I can ask for, literally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say my
And
kids are very lucky.
it's so important also because marriage is a gamble sometimes. I mean,
It's
you
a
choose
huge
your partner,
gamble.
but you only
Yeah.
know after you get married to them. Like a lot of
Yes.
things you know after a while, and then you learn other things.
Yeah.
It's either you want to change or not. Some men don't want
Yes.
to change at all. Some
Yeah.
men are in the works to change, so some women would put up with it because they know the husband will eventually change. But some men
Yeah.
tak nak berubah langsung kan. Some men would just, stubborn. Or
Like,
tak kisahlah, the spouse can be either one can be stubborn, but
exactly. So you know how you spoke,
uh,
you asked me about my journey in becoming who
yeah,
I am today, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I've I've not always been this evenly tempered and like
Mhm,
patient.
mhm,
I'll be honest, that came with time, and that came
mhm.
when I became a mother. I am
Yes,
surprisingly, I am much more patient after I became a parent.
yes.
But if you talk to my husband, he would say, last time I was impulsive, I used to get angry a lot, and like you said, I used to be stubborn. And
Mm-mm.
let's not even begin with the ego, right? When you first get married,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
I need to be right.
Ooh,
I
oh my
am right.
God.
You need to
Me
listen to
too.
me. So we got married. We got married. We were married 3 years before we
Mhm,
had our daughter. But
mhm.
in those 3 years, every time we fought, I said we are not ready to have a family. Every single time. Every
Yeah.
time we fought, I told him it's taking us a step back. It will
Mhm,
take us steps back from even thinking about having a family. And he always used to wonder why. Like, oh, because in other ideas, kids fix everything. I'm like, no. Kids do
Yes.
not fix
Yes.
everything. Kids puts pressure on marriages.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to start having kids, already having pressure on your marriage, you will crack. And I told him,
Yes.
I'm not cracking. I am not cracking as a mother. I said, I need to be in the best place I can possibly be before I become a
Mm-hmm.
parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we tried for Belle, my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
we we were in such a good place. So that's when I said, okay, we're ready. And
Yes.
then,
Yes.
true enough,
Mm-hmm.
we became even stronger and
Yes.
even steadier as a couple. And it's weird because we've been married 7 years this year,
$7 Okay.
7 years this month.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird because we don't even fight anymore. And he's always like, why don't you ever pick a fight with me? I'm like, why would
Yeah.
I do that? I'm too tired to pick a fight.
Yeah. And they say
Rather
that
than fight, I would like to nap.
they call that if you pass the 5-year marriage, the fight is less. Ada, tapi it's not as bad as the first 3 years.
It's very odd, right? Because
Ah,
like,
ah.
why are there these stages in marriage? But it's true. But and
Yeah, it's
also
true. Yeah, yeah.
like you said, we change
We
and we
change. Yes,
evolve.
we change.
And
Yes,
whether or not you evolve to be the better version of yourself or the
yes, yes,
worst version of yourself, it's up to you.
yes,
And it
yes,
it it helps having a good partner, having a good family, having
yes.
having a stable foundation
Yes.
helps.
Support system that's just not your spouse, but also your
Yes.
families, your in-laws,
Yes. Your friends.
your friends.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think in that aspect, I think you made a really good point about saying that you know a family is a unit where it takes two to tango.
Yes.
Like we're
Or in
not
my case,
perfect.
it takes four.
Then we're not perfect. We all make
We're
mistakes.
not.
And then as
Yes.
we learn along the way and we do shitty stuff along the way as well, and then we discover that's right, what's wrong, what's right, and then we make do for each other. And in the end,
Yes.
it's not just for you, but also for people around you, especially your spouse and your children.
And hopefully we do right by our children, right? And somehow
Yes,
raise
yes,
them to be decent human
yes,
beings.
yes, yes. And now that your decision, yeah, choosing to forego a lot of things like your father and whatnot. How does that impact your life positively?
I think I used to crave what my daughter has with her dad now.
Mm-hmm,
Um, and I used to always wonder, like, how does that feel? How does it feel to have because having a male figure in your life is not like having a mom, because a mom is someone who sacrifices almost is different because they give birth to you, and it's almost like they're indebted to love you because it takes a lot of pain to bring you in this world. But
mm-hmm,
a dad, your bond with a dad, it has to be made.
mm-hmm,
Like, this is what I told my husband. I'm like, the bond with our kids for you will have to be a lot of effort because it's not as natural. And only because you don't feel the pain of giving birth, you don't feel
mm-hmm.
the pain of being
Yes.
pregnant, you don't feel the pain of breastfeeding. So it's not as natural as mothers,
Mm-hmm,
because when you're a mother, it's a lot of hormones, and it's literally like biological in your body, right?
mm-hmm,
Where else dads, you have to put in a lot of effort. You have to actually be present. You have to be there. You have to be the fun parent. Most of you guys get to be the fun parent, right? So that's nice because my husband is definitely the fun parent.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and what I see with him now, with my daughter, is that he does. He puts a lot of effort. He wants to take her wherever that she likes. She loves petting zoos, so he's always like trying to drive out to all these places 1 hour away. I'm like, oh my god. And then he brings her to all the restaurants that she likes to eat. If she wants to go to a play gym, he doesn't even think twice. Um, and that's how he creates the bonds, right? To spend time with her, and then they
mm-hmm,
cuddle. Sometimes when I'm putting my son down for a nap, they're cuddling in the room, they're playing her iPad together, they play games together because I suck at games. So it's good that she has her, because
mm-hmm.
she has him, because she's very good and he's very good at gaming. So they play Roblox together. Um
Right.
and that's how the bond is created, right? And as newborns, he used to do diaper changes when before they realize that their mother has the milk, he can still put her to sleep, so they would nap together. So it was a lot of created bond, which I never had and I never felt, and I cannot remember with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was for the longest time was something that I had been craving for.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally let him go and I finally realized that you know what, I'm done. I'm done
Mm-hmm.
asking him to be my dad, because if he wanted to be my father, he would have already been my father. But he clearly
Yes.
doesn't want to be, right?
Yes.
So I started
And
living vicariously through my daughter, because when I see her and my husband, I'm like, I don't need a dad, because God might have taken that away from me,
yes.
but he gave it in ways that I can never even ask for to my daughter and to my son.
Mm-hmm.
Not just having a dad who financially supports you, or
Yes.
make sure that you have a roof over your head or food to eat on the table, but is actually there every
There.
single
Yeah.
day, is present, that shows up at school stuff, that
Yes.
actually wants to be there shouting, like, oh my God, and I know that if anything happens to me, is that he will try his best.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm grateful for that, because it
Mm.
made me realize that I might not have gotten something in my life, but my
Mm-hmm.
kids did.
So you sort of reach a moment of acceptance, letting it go and embrace what you have and accept the fact that I think what is taken is also being given.
Yeah, with an open heart
Yeah.
and open mind,
An
right?
open
Being
heart. Yeah.
sincere about
And
it.
more things are coming.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe, and I know people believe that kids are rezeki and everything. And
Betul.
obviously, I've been kind of throwing it out in the universe that my second
Mm.
baby ni is my last baby.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and a lot of people are like, "Oh, why you tolak rezeki? You're
Mm-mm.
so young." Rezeki
Yeah.
also comes in other
Yes.
forms, like
Yes.
health
Yes.
and
Yes.
happiness and peace
Yes.
of mind and me time. Those are also rezekis, okay?
Betul. And
Yes.
speaking of which, my therapist told me that indeed we believe that children are risky, but in a manner where if you put yourself to stop your risky is also your fault sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can plan and because you know yourself well, it is good for you to have one or two or three or four or five or six or seven children. Is up to us. If you feel that you stop at two, that is as far as it goes, and it's good for you.
Yeah, and
Because
also we have insight, right? We have insight
ah
to our own minds, whether
yes,
our mental health can take it, whether our body can
exactly.
take it.
Because
And honestly,
people
I
are
miss my body. I miss my body being my own. Like my body has been a breastfeeding body
yeah,
for now almost coming up. Well, my son is
yeah.
14 months now. So definitely after my daughter breastfed until she was 2 plus, and my
Mhm.
son is hopefully going to breastfeed until 2 plus. Also for just a bit, I would like it to be about me for a while after
Yes,
I,
yes,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and like you said, doing what we love. So like for example, maybe I'll find something that is my equivalent of your podcast.
yes.
Um be it maybe exercise or finding a
Hmm.
hobby, or
Hmm.
actually being able to go out with my friends and actually eat the food that I ordered.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
So
different forms of the recipe, right?
indeed. And talking about that, now you are a content creator that you'd create content of bento, food box, and then you also do if find an interesting content on your Instagram. Where does that idea come about? Like how what are your inspiration from?
Well, actually, my love for bento came from me
Mm,
loving how my daughter reacts when I show her the
mm,
bento. And when
mhm.
she comes home with an empty bento, she's so excited. She's like, "Mommy," she gets in the car from school. She's like, "Mommy, open my bag, check my
She,
bento."
so she actually
so
eats.
so she loves them, and I
She
think
loves it.
that pushes me,
Mm,
right? That's where
yeah.
my excitement comes from. But it
Mm,
started off as actually something just for myself, because I loved it. It felt like my love
mhm.
in in a lunchbox that she gets to bring to school. So
Mhm.
something, okay, so this, you kind of need context because my kids have
Mhm.
never been taken care of by anybody else.
Mhm.
So not my in-laws.
Mhm.
And we've never left them anywhere per se.
Yeah.
So you know how like a lot of people their parents babysit, that's a
Mhm.
norm, right? Or they
Yes.
have helpers. So I don't have any of that. So my kids are with me. Like if there's 365 days a year, they're with me 365 days a year.
Mhm.
Maybe some days I would maybe like since my kids have been born, my husband and I have only been out together twice. No
Right.
joke, twice.
My God.
Um and even then it was
Is
I
that a
think like
lot?
maybe like 2-3 hours just maximum.
That's
And
it.
I was like already missing the kids. So like
Yes.
so my kids uh they're not used to being away from me. So my daughter going to school was a huge deal, okay, because that was going to be her first taste of independence, of being
Mm-mm.
away from mommy. And I think I wanted her to realize that she was a person of her own
Mhm.
without me. That she
How?
would she's four.
She's four. Okay.
Yes.
So she started
So
going to school. It's your first experience, separation anxiety going
yes, and
on and
every
everything.
single day, okay, I have to send her to and until okay, so she's been at school for almost 6 months. Every
Uh-huh.
single day when I send her to school, my heart still cracks a little bit, okay? Like
Yeah.
that's how clingy I am as well. So um it I I wanted her to realize that she's this bright, fun and but very 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 shy, and she
Mm-mm.
takes her time kind of girl, okay?
Mm-mm.
So but when you get to know her, she's so full of life. So I want her to realize that she's that person without me. So
Mhm.
her having her own life with her friends and everything, right? It
Mm-mm.
will be such a
Yes.
different experience. So the
Yes.
bento box was actually my form of being with her, so that
Mhm.
um you know
It's like she has
half
some way,
half day
uh,
at school when she's about to eat and have a snack, she'd be like, oh, my mommy made me this, and my
mm,
mommy put effort into this. And
yeah,
then that will be that little reminder that I'm there even when I'm not
yeah,
there, I'm there.
yes. It's like
S-
having a little bit of you while she's
yes,
away.
exactly. So that is why I think I pour so much love into the bento,
Yeah,
because I feel
yeah.
like I know a lot of people will say, "Alah, just put lah whatever, they'll still eat it," you know. Like even if you
Mm-hmm.
put like, even if you put like biscuit also, they'll eat it. They will. But for me, it's
Yeah,
not just what they eat. It's
yeah.
that she knows that as I'm making this and as I'm packing it for her,
Mm-hmm.
it's my just my love to her, and that when she goes to school, she
Yeah,
remember it, and
yeah,
it's nice, and it keeps her going, it keeps me going, and it reminds me to be a bit less clingy and a bit less crazy with her,
yeah. Yeah,
and give her a
because
bit more independence.
yeah, I feel like when you have that done or ready for her, prepared for her, you feel like you've done your job and then you're ready to set her free for 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 4 hours, right? So drama, right?
I faham because ever since my son started going to school, I experienced a similar separation anxiety and whatnot. But at
Sorry,
the
and how
same
old
time,
is he?
he's 5 now. He started
Oh,
going to school 5 years old. And then I actually enjoyed the time having him away for the first half of the day because I get to watch TV, do the housework.
you get
Although I
to
miss him,
eat.
I get to eat, because bila dia
Yes.
balik, hanya dia conquer TV semua.
Yes.
Kan? Dia conquer TV, lepas tu macam I tak boleh nak buat apa dah lah. But then of course, the first few months tu macam like, is he going to be okay? Like, is he going to be safe? Especially because nowadays, I mean, in Malaysia, I'm not so scared about the guns.
Oh my, can you
Uh,
imagine being parents that have to worry about guns?
yes, I'm
Like,
worried when
how
I was there.
horrible is that?
I'm so worried all the time because like you don't know where come and shoot you. But
Yeah.
here I'm worried about the abuse.
Yes, of course.
The abuse, the accident. I mean, it can happen anywhere, but I'm just saying the accident that sometimes when they hold a pencil,
Oh my God,
power.
I told my daughter the same. I'm like, please
Mm,
don't ever walk in front of
yes,
your friend that's holding a
yes,
pencil.
yes. And I told him to not to push people. Don't rampas, pull something from your friend. If you want something, ask for it. So far,
Yes.
okay. So far, he's in the school and himself is under control. I haven't yet to receive those kind of reports or information or
Yeah.
news. But but then I didn't do what I do, like the bento box, because the school have the meal prepared.
Oh
But I
yeah,
did, yeah,
most schools do, yeah.
can. And then because my son doesn't eat, he's a picky eater. He likes bread.
Ah,
He's very, I call that he is vegetarian. He
that's
eats
really
just,
good.
yeah, he eat breads and peanut butter, so when he goes to school, the school prepares fried rice, fried noodles, or anything around that, type of food that he start to learn and eat different types of food because as he mix around with friends, dia pun and join makan sekali.
Progress, right?
Progress because I'm worried juga because he only wants bread. Because picky eaters sometimes when they go out they tak nak makan, they
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah, yeah.
eat and all that kind. But that
I have a
aside,
friend that the daughter only eats fries. Okay, how do you?
rice saja, just rice, plain
No,
rice.
French fries.
Oh, French fries.
French
Oh,
fries saja. She doesn't eat anything. She just
what
likes
about
fries.
milk?
I don't know. Dia cakap anak dia suka French fries je. And I'm like,
Boleh. Yeah.
only French fries?
My
And
pediat.
we're so Asian, right? We're like, makanlah
Mm-mm.
nasi. At
Nasi,
least
yeah,
eat
yeah.
rice or carbs. Like
Mm-mm.
when we eat, like we're always like full of carbs. Like our nasi lemak, come
Mm-mm.
on, nasi a lot, right? So
Yes.
as an Asian parent, I'm always like telling my daughter, I'm like, the carbs are gonna keep you full.
Yes, yes. But then potatoes, they're carbs juga. It's
Yeah, yeah,
different
any
form,
form
kan?
of carbs, right? Yes.
So my pediatrician once, told me that as long as your son is eating,
Yes. So for me,
uh,
it's okay. But if you
mm-mm.
only want fries, okay,
Yeah,
there's
then
something
susah.
wrong.
Something
Yes,
wrong
you
lah.
gotta
Maybe
eat
dia
some stuff.
dia kena jumpa kawan ke apa ke. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but like you said, like it's very good that even though you were worried about him wanting to
Mm-mm.
eat at school, he ended up eating anyway because you know why?
Mm-mm. Yes.
Sometimes our
Mm.
kids are tougher without us around
Yes,
because
yes.
we manja them too much.
Betul, betul. So I had to let them go and really put myself to sane.
Yes.
Kalau tak, we stay at home worried about what's happening to him, whatnot. And then macam, you know what? I'm gonna put that to an end and then start enjoying myself at home.
Yeah. And also at the same time, did you feel guilty?
Um,
Did you
well,
feel guilty enjoying
yes,
how
yes,
much?
yes. I have always been
Like at the back
guilty.
of your mind, right? You're
I
like, oh my
selalu, yes.
god,
I think
salahnya,
that's
kenapa I love this?
that's normal. Tapi kan dia macam mula-mula je. Mula-mula je lah. Mula-mula now dia dah macam dah start to have his independence.
And then you're
Like
like, Allah, why?
I macam first macam dia ni dah pandai melawan dah ni. Lepas tu dah macam dah pandai, semua dah pandai. Macam dia pun they are growing up kan. They are
Yeah,
becoming themselves. So like I cannot stop that.
of course,
Ah,
and we don't want, right? That's why we want to send them to school, right?
betul.
Because we
Yes,
want
yes,
them to
yes,
to be we want them to be themselves without us because
yes,
it's
yes.
different. That's when
Betul.
you truly see whether the kid is good or not.
Yes,
That's when you
yes,
see if you've raised a decent kid. Because if
yes.
you're not around and he's pushing other kids, yeah, you gotta take him
Betul,
back home and like correct some
betul.
stuff. Because some kids they're angels in front of their parents.
Ya,
Oh my
betul.
god, bijak semut tak mati. But then when they
Belakang,
go to
ya,
school,
ya,
yeah.
yes, ya.
So that's why I always tell parents that when their kids are naughty in front of them, I'm like, you should be grateful because that means your kid is really comfortable to be their true selves with you.
But
Because if
Nurin,
yes,
this is a hard truth that a lot of people find it hard to accept. I mean, Alhamdulillah, our children are, I mean, at this point of their age, they can still be perceived as well behaved. I mean, they are children yang a bit extra. Yeah. I
yes.
think I think to look at it, I think children are not solely to be blamed. I
Oh,
think everything
they're
starts from
children.
home. Yeah, it starts from home.
Yes.
So a lot of things that when issues like this happening in school, parents sometimes they know how the children are like. So
Of
when the teacher
course.
come and tell them, your children buat macam ni, some defensive parents become very defensive.
Yes. So
Like,
the thing is, and like you said, how do you blame a kid who
hmm,
doesn't even have a developed frontal lobe
yes, yes.
to make decisions about what is good or what is wrong, what is right,
Mm, mhm.
what is bad? Um, everything is in the gray area for them. And
Mm-hmm.
some parents, they're like, oh, my kid's so naughty, I'm going to send them to school. School's
Mm-hmm.
not going to fix your kid being naughty if when
No.
they come home, you are just saying, it's okay. And then, like, just you're making excuses for them. You're not
Yeah.
actually, you're not trying to fix the root of the problem, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
And I don't like to believe that kids are just naughty. I don't.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
I believe that kids, they do naughty things. They're good kids. That
Yes.
this is what I tell my daughter. I'm like, you're a good girl, but you do naughty things because sometimes I said you're just human.
Yes. Betul.
Even
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adults. Let's be honest. We make mistakes. We do naughty things as well.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
The only difference is that we don't have anybody reprimanding us, except if
Mm-hmm.
the police catches you, then maybe. But
Yes.
I was I always like to believe that kids are good. In innate, they're good.
Yes. And
But
when I was but go on.
when they do naughty things
The
and how
naughty.
you
Yeah.
react as a parent, that is everything. That
Yes.
is gonna actually determine whether your kid is gonna grow
Yeah.
up to be a decent kid or not.
Or not. Yeah. I mean, I was in the U.S. and when I was working as as a social worker, the first thing that we were told in the training that everything begins at home. All of that begins at home, meaning to say, if your household is not well, put and whatnot, this person will go out into the community, you know, uh, it's not going to be something very pleasing.
Yeah.
So I think we as parents are responsible for our children's future. Not to say that we should control them, not to say we should be actively putting our nose on their head and or micromanage them, but we have the responsibility to take care of them and to make sure that what to teach them the right things.
And I think that's why I think I owe it to my children
Hmm.
to kind of deal with my own inner demons growing up,
Yes. Yeah.
and my own skeleton in my closet, because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you need to be a healthy version of yourself mentally.
Yes. Yes.
To be
Yes.
a good parent is hard.
Yes.
You
It's
cannot
susah.
expect a parent who is going through a lot to
Yes.
be a like a present and a parent who's conscious of their kids'
Yeah.
feelings. It's
Yeah.
difficult because they
Betul.
themselves, they're going through a lot. Like, when you
Betul.
ask a parent, for example, who's going through a divorce,
Hmm.
how is that parent going to be in the right frame of mind when they are thinking, oh
They're
my
going
god,
through.
my marriage
Yes.
is crumbling. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna what are my
Yeah.
parents gonna say? And
Yeah.
in the Asian culture, mana boleh, right?
Tak
Oh, everybody
boleh.
wanna
Yeah.
borak-borak about this. Oh, they love gossip, right? So you have a lot of things going in your mind.
Hmm.
How are you supposed to be that parent, that optimum parent,
Right.
and that's why they say it takes a village, right? Sometimes that
Hmm.
your village needs to be there for you.
Yes.
And I feel like in in my life, I do have a village. So my family and I were very close,
Mm-mm.
but I needed to work on a lot of inner stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I needed to really be at peace with what I went through, with
Yeah.
my own childhood trauma, with my own mental health, and what
Yes.
I, I
Yes.
needed I needed to be 100% for me to be the parent that I am today.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, but it's because you're financially, you've got the financial help." But do you know that I've never been to one session of therapy yet? And
Hmm.
I know I need it. I know I can. Sometimes I feel it cracking up and creeping up on me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I know I'm gonna need therapy someday, but
Mm-mm.
it's still manageable now for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it's a lot of, like you said, acceptance that
Hmm.
some things are just not meant to be. They're just
Yeah,
not going to work out
betul.
the way you want it to.
Yes. Yes.
And whatever that has happened, that has worked out, take it
Yes.
in your stride,
And
like,
so,
and just be grateful that you're able to be where you are today, whether it is with your career, with your
mhm.
spouse, with your children. Like, sometimes we want more than what we can actually carry.
And I like to say this. Sometimes we chase the wrong things for the wrong reason.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And we did mention that money is not everything, right, in one of
Yeah.
our conversations
Yes.
before this podcast. And
Yes.
it's never been more true since until
Mm-mm.
I became a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm. Although
Because
money, although money is important, but it's not everything.
yes, money, of course, for
Ah,
you to
it's
be able
important.
to live,
Yes.
for you to be
Yes.
able to
Yes.
experience more stuff in life, yes, money is very, very important.
Yes. It's
But
important.
money you can make.
Yeah. Boleh
What
cari.
this time that you
Mm.
have right now, that your kids are growing up, that your
Mm-mm.
kids are looking up to you, to idolize you, you're not gonna get back.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my
Betul.
husband this. I'm like, don't worry about the money because you're always going to make money. There's always going to be a way to make money. But your
Mm-mm.
kids are not going to go and shrink back.
Yes.
You
No, they're
cannot
not.
make time.
Yeah.
Time will not go back. So I I take it I try my level best to just be in the moment as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty of being distracted every now and then, and that's just
Yeah.
normal.
That's
But
normal.
when you realize it, just take it back. Take back the moment. Take a
Yeah.
walk, go to the park
Yeah.
with your kid.
Yes.
Just sometimes you just need to disconnect from everything else and connect with that little thing that's dying to connect with you, you know?
Betul. Yes, yes. And also, apa? Um, not everyone has not everyone has the same privilege as some people do. Some people have, grow up with parents, some people don't. And some people did not turn out well if they grow up in a broken home. Some people turn out well, even growing up in a broken family. The best way is how you make that changes in your life. How do you make a difference in your life?
Yeah, exactly.
It's how you make it, and I think you've done really well, Nurin, in
Thank you so
achieving
much.
in what you do, and all the valuable lessons you have shared with us, and the message you want to convey here, that hopefully that other people that are going through similar situation will find this as a strength, that to find any possible way to move forward. And before we leave, what piece of wisdom you can share to us in making a difference in life, and for anyone who's struggling, and perhaps also share your hopes and dreams.
I'm sure that as a parent, one of the quotes that you probably read most is the days are long, but the years are so, so short. And you're gonna blink and then your kid's gonna be 14 and then 40 and then the next thing you know you're gonna be a grandma. Um and
In a blink of an eye, just
yeah,
like that.
and
Mm,
like we just said, you're never gonna get it back. It's
that's
never
true.
coming back. So that would be something that I hold on to that with my
Hmm.
kids. And I think that's why I I enjoy it more. Like I said, that's why it allows me to be more sincere. It allows me to see my kids as this fleeting little people that are just growing every single second. They're literally growing every single second.
Yes.
So when I hold on to that, I'm like, oh, so when they're naughty or they make a mess, I'm like, it's all right because the years are short. Because I'm gonna be missing this messy house, this loud noises, this non-stop chaos when they're all
Hmm.
grown up, and they want to
Yeah.
be holed up in their room and not talk to you. My own dreams and aspiration is I just I just want to be I want to be happy and satisfied. I don't want to have I don't want to have everything in life. That I
Mm.
mean, realistically, I know I'm not going to have it all,
Yes.
but I would like to have it all in my personal family home.
Hmm.
That's having it all for me.
That's enough
Um
for you. Yeah.
yes. I mean, flying business class, traveling the world,
Yes.
wearing an expensive handbag, driving an expensive car. It's nice. It's nice to have.
Yes.
But I want to have it all in the other aspect because having it all in that aspect is the thing that's going to mean the most to me.
Which is your
And
family.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope that my kids will grow up and raise their kids well because they will look back and say my parents raised me well and raised me with happiness and love and joy. And I hope that I don't know if my kids will realize this, but I hope they do. But I love being their mom. Like I love being with them, and I love taking care of them. I love the chaos. I love the mess. I love it all.
Yes.
And I want them to know that I love it so much that I would do it over and over again. I will do it from the moment that I'm pushing at 10 cm.
Yeah.
I will do that over and over again. Okay, it was so painful, but I will do
Yeah.
it over and over again just to experience more moments and more
Yeah.
and just I remember the feeling, and even the feeling I'm having right now as I'm talking
Mhm.
about it,
Mhm.
it is so real, and
Yes.
nothing gets more real than your kids and your family.
I can hear your sincerity and your honesty in this. Like, it's really pure. And I can also say one thing: it's no regret for you, no turning back. You really you have it at hello. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and right now my kids when my kids tell me, "Mommy, you can pick a song now in the car," which rarely happens, right?
Yes.
And I always put "Make You Feel My Love" by Adele.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this line in the song that goes, from the moment that from the
Mm-hmm.
moment that we met, I've always known where you belong, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how I felt with them. Like, it was weird because I was meeting them for the first time ever. It was barely 5 seconds out of my body, but the moment they were in my arms, I knew exactly that was where they belonged. They didn't nowhere else in this world, nothing else will ever matter to me. Like, no amount of money in the world, no high flying career, no successful, business will ever mean anything to me if my kids don't feel my
Mm-hmm.
love,
Yes.
and that in my arms is exactly where they will always belong.
Well said. Beautiful, Nurin. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with me. Thank you for listening to He. A new episode is available every Thursday, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media at Rafi Ridzwan and at He Podcast for all the updates and behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for listening to He with Rafi Ridzwan.